what is the weather doing?
That is the question. Let's see. We are ready for a start. The green flag waves, Peter. Take us away.
Yeah, and it's all dry so far, but there could be spots around. We have to...
Ready at the very start of the...
Yeah, it's already getting too slippery, and he did very well to avoid ending up on his ear that time, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took the lead from Vader, obviously realised it was damp, ran wide, took it easy, and Beñat Fernandez is a faller. Brian went inside and almost immediately came a cropper.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them, but for Beñat, we do have a red flag then, so in they will come. That is it. Wow, oh yeah, you can see the rain on that shot there. It is absolutely pouring in that part of the circuit, which is the final sector. So we thought we'd get away with it, but we didn't, Peter. It's going to be changing to wet tyres. It's raining on the start and finish straight. Oh, dearie me.
You can see the slick tyres there that they all started with. Because, you know, as you said, Matt, you can't predict it. We could have had rain all around and it not rain on the track. Well, we didn't get away with it. And that's the number 40. That's Gabriel Tassini. Let's hope he's... Yes, he's standing up. He's okay. Yeah.
We'll be miffed with that. I mean, it's one of those things, when the rain comes as quickly as it did there, you know, what can Race Direction do anything about that? You know, they get the alert from the marshals, and then they need to take a decision, and they did take it as quickly as possible. I seem to remember Portugal 2022, Peter, in the Moto2 race, you had a real tricky situation where at one corner there was just an immediate deluge of rain, and the rest of the circuit was completely dry, and 6 riders went down all in one turn, and there was just nothing they could do about it. Here is what happened with Tassini. This is the wet corner that just started raining, and Tassini, is that Beñat Fernandez or Tassini? I think it was...
Oh, 2 of them.
Both. Three. Okay. Oh, a nearly fall. Goodness me.
That's, yeah.
Very unfortunate. So that's Beñat Fernandez. Was that Joel Pons as well? Yes, Joel Pons as well, unfortunately. He went down too. So Tassini, Pons and Fernandez all went down in a multi-rider crash. That is unfortunate. There is some, I would say this is some good news what we're looking at, Peter.
Well, that's right. At least it's wet now, isn't it?
At least
we're not just waiting around. Is it going to dry out? It's changed to wet tyres, and unless there's actually thunderstorms and lightning about. We have had that in Rookies Cup. You mentioned Portugal. We had a Portuguese race where we did have lightning striking the track surface, and I think one of the riders, narrowly missed having a nasty incident with some lightning. So let's hope there's none of that. Anyway, that would mean we wouldn't be racing at all.
Beñat Fernandez is bargaining with the lad on the scooter to give him a bit of a push so he can try and get back to pit lane. 'Cause if he can get back, he can crack on and restart, basically.
Well, that's right. If they can check out, the mechanics will check over the bike, and if it needs a new footrest, they'll do whatever they can to get him out onto the circuit. Again, you can see obviously their rain tyres going on there, and they come to the grid all with a set of rain tyres already mounted on their spare wheels, so it's pretty quick to change. And obviously there's not spare motorcycles, so it's unlike MotoGP. It's a question of changing the wheels, and they're doing that now. And
God, how much did we not get away with it, eh? Oh, yeah, my goodness, that timing. As we look at the likes of KJ Monagnani there under the umbrella, he's got AJ Venter, rider, former racer on various national circuits, and also still current road racer as well, doing on the spanners for him there. And it is well and truly sodden out there now, isn't it? Which is, I think, good news, because you don't want an in-betweeny race. It's with, as you say, rookies have one bike each. We can't afford to keep coming in and out, changing tyres. Oh, it's dry now, and put slicks back on again. You want it one or the other.
That's right, and it's a wet race, and that's what we're going to be going with. They'll get things pretty organised pretty quickly, I think, and we'll soon be probably with obviously. That lap doesn't count for anything. It's a restarted race, but I'm sure that it will be shortened by a lap or two anyway. And there's Brian Uriarte, and he'd like a dry race, but he's an enormously skilled man, and I don't think he'll have any problems. He's looking pretty cheerful with things.
Key thing they've got to do, especially in the rain, is to make sure their hair doesn't get wet before they put their helmets on. You don't want it fogging up, do you? So keep your caps on, put a hood over, stand under an umbrella, otherwise you might find a bit of fog coming up on your visor.
Well, I think he...
Beñat's made it back. Good lad.
That's good, yeah. he's fed up with things.
He's a passionate
but obviously,
fella.
yeah, he is. That's right. Obviously, the motorcycle is a runner, so whatever the mechanics may have to titivate on it, he should be getting to the restart anyway.
All riders eligible for the restart if they can get their bikes
back.
Well,
that's the question, whether they can get back and whether they, the bikes that not got too much damage. Anyway, okay, so. Yeah, get the things sorted out. Let's get this underway as soon as we reasonably can. But well, anyway, all the form book pretty much goes out the window. It doesn't really matter where anybody qualified.
I'm gonna get rid of my free practice 2 timesheets to tell you who finished where there in the dry. We no longer care.
We know that Hakim Danish has won in the wet, so
the Asian riders are generally wet weather specialists. Pratama could have a great one here. Zen Mitani as well. Benyat Fernandez there looking absolutely gassed. Big effort to get his bike back.
Yeah. And then there's our Dutch rider. Maybe it's Dutch weather out there.
Lucas Brown had one of his best results of the year in the wet weather conditions. Back in, it was the second race in France, actually.
I think he will definitely fancy his chances, won't he? Second race in chance. And of course. Alejandra Fernandez. Also, she had her best result in. She had an 8th in the second race in France. So, there's every chance that she's going to do something special this afternoon. I think she actually did take a step forward this weekend anyway. I mean, she qualified on the 6th row there, 17th, and she's finally really enjoying the KTM. I think she started the season with nothing like the same amount of racing experience that a lot of the guys around her had, and she was ill at the beginning of the season, but she's now hitting her stride, I think, and we can expect good things from her here.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Really, it's crunch time across the spectrum of the Rookies Cup grid, isn't it? Really, at the moment, you got the 3 at the front who are battling for the championship, and also a place in the World Championship next year. You've got some other riders who are also battling for a place in the World Championship next year, proving their worth that they're reaching, going to be 18 soon enough. They're trying to put themselves in the shop window. You've got the riders who are in their 2nd year, battling for a 3rd year in Rookies Cup. Riders in their 1st year on a 2nd year in Rookies Cup. It is so important. Of course, we do need to remind, I know we've got lots of regular viewers, but riders here, they get a maximum of 3 years in Rookies Cup, apart from a couple of exceptions. But there's no guarantee you get all 3 years, is it?
No, there's no guarantee you get a 2nd year, and of course the Cup isn't the right place for everybody. Some people it just doesn't work for them. But the riders who do well here just seem to storm into Moto3. Max Chies, rookie, he was 3 years in the Rookies, and to be really frank and brutal about it, Max won in his 1st season, and he didn't do as well in season 2 and season 3 as he might have done.
He got worse as the years went on,
he did silly things happen, but silly things he obviously learned, because silly things at Touchwood are not happening to him now that he's up in the Moto3 class. He's already run a Grand Prix. Absolutely superb.
I mean, he's absolutely blown some of the other rookies that we've had come through out of the water in terms of their 1st year. I think someone in the summer break, a journalist, did an average score. I can't remember who it was though. Did an average qualifying position of MotoGP riders. That's the quick start proceeding. So that'll be 8 minutes time, 7 minutes. They did an average qualifying position for MotoGP riders in their 1st years in the World Championship, right? And he did Maximo Quiles's. Now, lots of them were outside the top 10, maybe even outside the top 15. Maximo Quiles is 4.7 average qualifying positions since he began. And he didn't even do the first 2 races because he was too young.
That's right.
There you go.
Now, we just saw Danny Ribalta, going down the riders there and giving them 2 fingers, if you like. Well, I think that probably means that there's going to be two sighting laps. Probably that's my guess anyway. That whether they take advantage to do the full 2 or just 1, but that's as I understood his gesticulation to the riders. That was Danny Ribalta, the rider coach. So we'll see. It's a quick start procedure anyway. and we'll quickly be underway. I don't think we've been told how many laps the race is, have we, so
10
far?
laps.
10 laps,
It's
right.
changed now
Right.
to 10 laps to go. That normally just, they don't tell us, it just cheekily does it.
Right, okay, so 10 laps, right. And we were expecting a 16-lap race, so it's a 10-lap race. That'll be plenty of action, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So plenty of action coming up. If we also, well, while we're here, still got a couple of minutes to go. A little bit of a reminder of sort of where we're at the moment. 13 points separate Hakim Danish and Brian Uriarte.
And another 11.
And another 11 down to Veda Patama. Best thing about that is I think you've got 3 wet weather specialists there. Although Hakim has shown maybe has a slight upper hand than everybody else in the wet. But how much is he feeling the pressure? It's one thing absolutely demolishing the field in the wet, as he nearly did in Le Mans when he took out Brian and came back through to finish second. It's one thing doing that. It's another thing at the end of the year when the championship's on the line of doing it again, or even better.
I tell you, somebody I think who will be fancying their chances, and that's Christian Daniel Jr. At the moment, he lies 14th in the championship. He was 11th in the Cup last year, so he's not happy with that. And although he had a third in the second race in Jerez, he's had some falls, he's had some... he will fancy his chances. He said last year in Aragon, when he did so well in the wet, I'm brilliantly fast in the wet. I'm also good at falling off in the wet. So, which is what he did, and he got back on. Yeah. So, I think we will keep an eye on Christian Daniel. I think it was Christian who made the blinder of a start there from the middle of the second row of the grid, and he'll be trying to do that again.
Yeah, I think so. He did make a good start. Christian's sort of really come on leaps and bounds this year. I've got to say, I've even admitted to him, he surprised me with getting that podium at the first round in Jerez. I thought that the natural progression of a rider from first year to second, let's break into the top 10 with some really solid points, top 8. On a podium in the first round, just kick off your second season. That was sensational. But looking forward to seeing him back towards that end as well in this race, hopefully coming up, because he is good in both kinds of conditions, dry and wet now. Right,
as we said before, Lucas Brown is coming off the back of the grid for being caught speeding in the pit lane twice. But back of the grid is not going to be too much of a disadvantage for him if he's really good in the wet, is it? He's well capable of coming through from there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there is Brian with his lid on, ready, just watching probably himself on the TV feed, actually. Yeah, there he is. So, yeah, how are they all feeling at the moment, Peter?
Yeah, I think they just want to get on with it. That's the thing. You want to get, you've had enough standing around here thinking about the wet. You want to get out there, do what, if I've guessed rightly, what Danny was saying, that there's possibility of 2 sighting laps. Get out there, feel what the track is, and get on with the race. You don't want to be just standing there watching the rain come down. You want to be out there doing it. Now, we're looking there at number 40, Gabriel Tassini. The mechanic's still working on the bike there. So, obviously, that... And I think he's getting a new set of handlebars?
I think so, yeah.
He got some damage, so he's getting a new, at least, left handlebar. I can see it hanging around there. Can't see all the other things. The number 7, of course, we know Benyat fell. He's got a patched up fairing there.
This is what they really have to do, isn't it? It's a bit of a bodge job at that sort of stage with such little time available. But the bike is ready. Benyat's dad giving him give the mechanic a big hug there. Credit to them for getting it ready.
That's right. Now the system here in the Rookies Cup is that each rider comes with a mechanic helper. That may well be dad, or it could be a family friend, or even a professional mechanic, but they only in principle deal with the more simple stuff, the taking the wheels out, swapping the wheels over, filling the bike with petrol and that sort of thing. Any technical stuff is done by the full-time mechanics. So those guys are the guys who are now pitching in, looking at the damaged bikes, assessing what needs to be done and fixing it. Now, what's going on here? Matt, sorry, Matt, you didn't say.
No, I was looking at Tassini, who's just arrived back into pit lane.
Well, we just saw Beñat Fernandez, they're getting a new set of knee pucks, thicker ones, because you know they like to stick their knee down and when they go through the corner to judge just how much they're leaning over. And of course, in the wet, they don't want to be leaning over quite as much as they do in the dry. So if they have the time, they swap their normal knee pucks for some thicker ones. And you can see actually there that it looks to me like Hakim Danish has got some thicker knee pucks, knee pucks as well, so that they can feel, you know, where the road is just a little bit earlier than they will be doing so in the dry.
Well, actually, I did actually shoot a small video on that with other riders I worked with in the World Championship over the weekend, and to ask them sort of how often do you use it. There's quite a few riders. They only really tend to get their knee down properly in the wet with the bigger sliders when it's starting to dry, when it's fully wet. Not so often, they were telling me, but that is at Moto2 and World Superbike level.
Right.
But yeah, so I found that they said actually you can use wet knee sliders for a good couple of races actually in a couple of different events, whereas dries they tend to go through one a session depending on the track.
Now it's interesting that, you know, looking at the actually the MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3 classes, the qualifying, people were setting new lap records in the qualifying. So obviously the track surface here is really good in the dry. Goodness knows what it's going to be like in the wet, because you know, this is the first rain of the weekend, first rain for a week or two, I think, here. So goodness knows.
Oh, Tassini's got a bit of a limp on there, I think it is. Yeah, Tassini, but he's going to be giving it a good college try. Bless him. Come on.
Yeah. They're getting away on the warm-up. Let's just see how many laps they do here. You know, it makes sense for them to have a couple of sighting laps so they can get the feel of the circuit. No one needs to rush into anything.
Pit lane closes in 5 minutes, so that should give them time for a couple of laps. But
certainly,
this is as much as they'll get. It is sometimes they get 10 minutes open, but with it being a quick restart procedure, they only get 5 minutes. This is their first experience of the rain here at the Red Bull Ring this year, and maybe sometimes ever for some of them on a Red Bull Rookies bike at the Red Bull Ring. Completely different type of asphalt to potentially Le Mans and things like that. A completely different feel. It is a little bit of a gamble. I mean, but that's what Rookies Cup is about when it comes to bike setup.
Learning. Right, and that was the 40th Gabriel Tassini, of course, the rider from San Marino, who he missed actually the last couple of races, last 3 races, because he fell off at Mugello and hurt himself, but he is now fit and away he goes.
Yeah, fair play. That's some serious determination right there.
Right, so let's see now as the riders go around on these sighting laps, just feeling out, see what the grip looks like here. You know, it's a wonderful circuit here at Spielberg. It's very well designed, very well trained. I don't think we're going to have any trouble with, you know, torrents of water running across the track. I mean, there hasn't been that much rain, obviously. It's raining quite well. It's definitely a wet race. These tyres will go the full 10 laps without too much of a problem. It isn't going to dry out that much. I suppose the track temperature isn't as cold as it would be if it had been raining all day, but I don't think it's going to be dry before the end of the race.
Sullivan Mounsey there, the number 4. The British rider didn't set a lap time, unfortunately, in qualifying after, like Beñat Fernandez, going down on the out lap. He was frustrated with himself, but he was very confident in his pace in the dry. Let's see what he managed to do in the wet, though, because completely different kettle of fish this. So
we expect them to go through the pit lane, don't we, and
yeah.
keep going. Now, don't forget, as we know, Lucas Brown starts at the back of the grid because of his penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Alejandra has a double long lap penalty, Alejandra Fernandez, because for causing an accident in the race at the Saxon Ring, and Marco Morelli has a single long lap penalty for being said to be at fault when he came together with Brian Uriarte at the Saxon Ring. So that's very unfortunate for Alejandra. A double long lap penalty, no fun at all, and Marco Morelli with a single long lap penalty. And of course the long lap penalty is at the top of the start and finish straight here. As you get to the first corner, you're going to go straight on and do your long lap penalty.
But they've got to be careful because it will be pretty slick in there, and the camber and things like that. You don't want to take it too fast. And of course, if you go on the green again, you have to do it all over again. So did see Lucas Brown in front of Brian Uriarte as they were leaving pit lane there, just bobbing his head up and down. He seems absolutely well up for this, and with his sort of pedigree in the wet weather, I'm sure he is, no doubt. But pit lane going to be closing within 2 minutes now, or well, a minute and a half. Let's see if the riders get round to do another lap. But I'm pretty sure they probably won't. Actually,
no, it's
almost
at this pace, it's a 2-minute lap. So we'll see. I know, as I say, Danny Ribalta was suggesting that it is a 2-lap that they're going to get. We'll see.
Well then, I'm not going to ask you for any bets, Peter. I think I feel a bit tense at the moment, to be honest, because the rain's still pouring, which is really good, I think, because that means there's no question about what the conditions are going to be at the end of the race. But it is really tense out there for them. I can imagine.
I'm gonna, if you want a wild call, I'm gonna call Christian Daniel Jr. because he hasn't had the season he wants. He has the confidence to go for it in the wet. He might feel that this is my chance. I'm going to go for it. We'll see. Whereas, the other guys, the obvious ones, you've Vader and Brian, and perhaps less so, and the Hakim, they're also defending their position, aren't they? And that's Gabriel Tassini back in the pit lane. Looks like he only did one sighting lap. Maybe he's still got a problem with the motorcycle.
Or he's starting from pit lane, potentially.
Or maybe because he was so late, we're just guessing here, but he was so late coming back and getting things sorted out, he didn't hear everything that Danny sent him to calm down anyways and just take it easy, because that's the thing, isn't it? Now, if you thought there was, you misunderstood things, didn't get it right, it's too easy to feel rattled, and really at this stage you've just got to calm down, deal with whatever situation you're in, and make it work once the race gets underway.
How good is it that this is what Rookies Cup has at this level? People who are, they're teaching them how to be professional motorcycle racers, and following the rules. Oh, he's pulled in. Actually, I think the bike's potentially a lot there, or he's potentially a bit too hurt from the crash. Not quite sure, but he will not be taking part. But the other riders will be, and we will have a full race coming up. Touch wood. There is Uriarte. It is still raining well and truly. Eyes absolutely on stalks with the adrenaline going through the veins. Who will keep calmest with this amount of pressure?
Well, now this is where you've really got to sort of start to test the limit of adhesion. You found out where everything was on the 2 sighting laps. Now it's the warm-up lap. And but as you say, Matt, it's not the time to make a silly mistake.
No, certainly isn't. Vader Pitama just taking off towards the front there. I'm fascinated, tense, concerned, but this is part of it, isn't it?
Well, that's right. And as go back to what you were talking about before the start of the race, and the fact that it is a bit of a stop-go circuit, which suits the Asian riders. And you also mentioned that, of course, they race in the rain plenty of time, so you've got a track style that suits them, you've got some conditions that suit them, and let's just see what they do with them. Vader Pitama, on that reckoning, then Vader Pitama is the favourite. Vader Pitama and perhaps Hakim Danish are the favourites. But
not forgetting the Brits as well, Peter.
Well,
we love the rain.
We do, but they've got work to do, aren't they? Because Lucas is coming off grid row 9, Sullivan coming off row 8. They've got work to do.
This is exactly the kind of conditions where you can do that sort of thing. Come through from towards the back, hopefully.
And if you use it to your advantage, of course, as you come through, you're watching what the other guys are doing. You're watching where they're finding grip, where they're not finding grip, and maybe make that play for you. Whereas if you're out in front by Vader Pitama, you're just purely absolutely relying on your own judgment.
A little wild card tip potentially could be Keandra Ramadeepa as well. Come on so strong with a 2nd and a 4th last time out, and of course also doing the business in the European Talent Cup. Indonesian rider also loves the rain. He's taken off from 10th place on the grid. He's got directly in front of him Mike Yu, Singapore there in 7th as well. So let's not forget Leo Ramersdorfer on the 4th row of the grid, the opposite side of the 4th row to Keandra. He's the local hero, the Austrian. Maybe it's his kind of day. Here we go then.
10 laps. And the rain is coming down. Look at that. There is no doubt it is going to stay very, very wet. So they're under starters orders, the green flag at the back. We're ready for 10 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. Who is going to get the start? Who is going to blast away into the first corner? The revs rise and away they go, and it is the number 30. He gets another good start. Christian Junior gets a good start, but he's not the quickest off the line because that is Veda Pitama.
Veda Pitama from Brian Uriarte. Into turn one they go. Zen Mitani into third position with Christian Daniel just behind him. David Gonzalez neck and neck with Marco Morelli there in 5th and 6th. Down they're coming towards turns A and 2B. Big overtaking spot. You don't want to cause a bit of a pile up there. Outbrake yourself as wow, that was Morelli, I think, just scything his way through on Daniel. It was Morelli, not stereotypically by my memory anyways, a particularly confident wet weather rider, but I could be completely wrong. That was sensational.
He did look very good there,
and
didn't he?
Who else is? Hakim Danish on the move already.
And he's got put the pressure on the American as well. But it's Brian Uriarte who takes up the lead from Veda Pitama. Brian Uriarte has the advantage over Pitama as they go down the hill into the right-hander. This is where Brian luckily got away with a nasty slide in the first start. He's not making that mistake again, and he leads Veda Pitama and Zen Mitani in 3rd place.
Hakim Danish on the prowl then, 7th place for the Malaysian. We've got to keep an eye on him because his 2 title rivals are out and up ahead. 1st and 2nd place. He's got to chase them down. He's got to reel them in. He's got to pass them. He's got to stamp his dominance if he wants this cup. Now or nearly never. It's getting to that point, Peter.
Well, he has really, hasn't he? And, you know, with Uriarte and Pitama, they are well capable of disappearing here because they are skilled, they're superbly skilled guys. And there is the 11 of David Gonzalez, another super skilled rider. And the rain continues to come down. Brown is up into 21st place. He started 25th.
So then the French rider as well, Guillaume Plong up there into 16th place now as well. Good stuff from him. And there we have then confirmed as they come across the line. Safe enough to do so. Morelli's got his first of his one and only, long lap penalty. He's going to take it now. Hopefully he does it cleanly. That was him going off in the background. And we won't see how he did because we're focusing on Danish, who's still in 7th place. He's got Mike Yu just ahead of him.
Right, so it still is the 51 of Brian Uriarte who has the advantage. There's the 13 of Hakim Danish.
That was a big moment for Zen Mitani coming out of turn 2B. His airbag's gone off. It looks like he's been down the gym, but he's all A-OK. But that would have scared the bejesus out of him.
That's right. He lost the drive completely, didn't he? And you just say someone's
down in the background. Yeah. Who is it?
The Alpine Stars Tech Air system went off. That will self-deflate, and he does have another gas canister aboard, so he can, in all safety, continue.
And I think that is Joel Pons who's down again, unfortunately. Connor Thompson as well.
It's Pons and Thompson.
Yep, seemingly.
Joel Pons, it's such a shame because, you know, he struggled all year and he really clicked here. He was super good in the free practice sessions, made a mess of qualifying, but I really thought he was turning the corner this weekend. Not what I wanted to see at all. Anyway, it's Brian Uriarte that has the advantage over Veda Pitama. As I said, these two are capable of disappearing. They can use each other to judge, and of course they lost the pressure from Zen Mitani, who's regathered himself in 6th place. The 11 is David Gonzalez, of course, in 3rd. And there is the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. moving up into 4th place, ahead of Hakim Danish.
Hakim Danish, Zen Mitani and Kyatsiak Singapong there. Mike Yu just behind them then, coming out of the final turn. Look how much it's rained here on the start and finish straight, Peter. It is absolutely covered in mist. It must be so difficult to see. That's why they've got the lights on the rear of the bikes to help them see in these kind of treacherous conditions.
And Marco Morelli back in 15th place, having done his long lap penalty. Brown is up to 19th. Mounsey is 20th.
Not the kind of progression we were hoping to see from them so far, but look at, they've got Lennox Famara returning to action properly once again. The Swiss rider in 12th position, just behind Leo Ramersdorfer, the local rider.
And of course, Lennox he had a ride on the Moto in Moto 3, and that was great to see him have his Grand Prix start. But here is the long lap penalty for the number 95, Marco Morelli.
Goes, just threading it through so carefully.
Had to be, really, didn't he? Too easy to make a mistake there. So
Vader up into the lead, round the outside, breaking into turn 4, doesn't go too wide. Gosh, that was so comfortable for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was beautifully
absolutely
done.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And you know, Brian Uriarte, I don't think he's going to be too upset by that. He will, you know, hopefully learn from that, and he's going to follow Vader.
Oh, Zemitani's gone down, Peter.
Well, there's a second airbag use, isn't
Yeah, unfortunately, that is him down and out. What a shame. Turn 3 up at the top end. There is Zen. Oh, what a shame that is. But what a great showing that was from him so far. Peter, I want to mention, we're seeing then, so Gonzalez third, Danish fourth with Christian Daniel just there. Last time around, the leaders were over a second quicker than the chasers. Fascinated to see what they're going to be this time around, because I'm sure the other riders would have seen how much they pulled on them and then gone, oh, we can go much faster here then.
Well, that's right. Now, you know, obviously Brian Uriarte knows he doesn't have to win this race, but he also knows that the man in front of him, Vader Patama, is the man who's challenging him for the Cup, and there are only 4 races remaining, so he cannot play a championship card here and just cruise into second place. He's got to go after Vader.
Uriarte was 0.4 of a second slower than Gonzalez and Danish were last time around. So we're now all even Stevens pretty well. Who's going to, you know, push the boat out a little bit more in these kind of conditions? Who's going to get faster, brake a little later, throttle on a little bit earlier? And will they close the gap to this leading duo?
That's a battle. It's a superb battle out front. And it's, you know, great to see David Gonzalez doing so well. He had that superb run there in Aragon, 2 podiums, 2 third places. Then he had a second at Mugello, and then it just went away from him in race 2 at Mugello, and didn't have a good Sachsenring. But it's great to see him bouncing back now and in 3rd place.
So although he did manage to come away from Sachsenring with a 5th, which isn't too bad, unfortunately terrible news for the Dutch, as Jurien van Kruchten has gone down. He was making decent progress, I saw last time around, when he crossed the line, 11th spot, so that's a big shame for him.
It is indeed. We're going to see that the orange helmet of the Dutchman.
Waduh,
A big slide off there, and forced Lennox Famara to take evasive action as well.
Yeah, and Lennox unfortunately got away with that, but it's back with the leaders then. It's Vader Patama and Brian Uriarte on his tail. And as you said, Matt, it's crucial to see just how much of an advantage they have. 2 seconds they had over the opposition at the end of the last lap. And it's holding that, or maybe going out very slightly, but it's 2 seconds at the moment.
Danish, though, losing ground on Gonzalez in this lap as well. I mean, 4th is a decent enough result for Danish, but he does need to stop letting them close in on him in the championship at this stage in the game, doesn't he?
Yeah. Pons had a long lap penalty, has now been completed. Now, I think I saw Vader actually touching the green stuff through the last corner there. That's obviously something they've all got to be cautious about. It is only a 10-lap race, less problem with, you know, touching the green too many times in 10 laps rather than 16, but you've still got to watch out for it.
Having said that, Peter, last time around, the fastest rider on track, the fastest rider in the race so far is Hakim Danish, a 1:57.4, 6/10 actually, quicker than everybody else. It's like he's got an earpiece in, listening to our commentary. There he is, Hakim, seemingly, I don't want to jinx him, but it looks like he's found his groove. He's on it. Will he be able to hunt them down? It's halfway through the race at the moment.
5 laps to go. At this pace, he can do it, but, you know, it's also too easy to make a mistake. Hakim Danish was superb in the rain at Aragon last year. That's where he's got his first victory, and he's now looking for a way past Danish.
And of course, I mean, how clever can the helpers of Veda Pratama and Brian Uriarte be to them? Will they be letting them know how far Dinesh is? Do they care? Is it just about them two? Do they need to know at this stage? That is the question.
Yeah, I would suggest they're just going as hard as they can. There's, you know, if you're pushed to try any harder, it could well come undone. So Danish looking for a way past Gonzalez as the men in front, Pratama and Uriarte. Well, there goes Uriarte having a look behind him. We know that, you know, these guys also look at the big screen as well. So sometimes they can go around and but you wouldn't want to take your eyes off the road too much in these conditions. But looking behind him was Brian Uriarte there, just gauging how long a distance it is back to Gonzalez and Danish.
See, Dinesh not quite so comfortable through the mid-section of the circuit, the more flowing part. As we see, Uriarte and Pratama have responded. 156 laps from them both, 156.9, which is 3/10 quicker than Gonzalez and Dinesh behind them.
And Christian Daniel Jr. is up the pace as well, and he has gone after Danish. So, you know, it's now Danish, Daniel and Gonzalez, and there is Benya Fernandez on the number 7. So he's got going.
He's got going, and he's up to 17th in this race. He's got Lucas Brown just ahead of him.
I guess he started from the pit lane then.
It did say he was due to.
Yeah, well that's, yeah. Anyway, he's out there. That's the main thing. He's out there.
That's Pons circulating, trying to keep out the way.
And Mounsey is up to 14th place, and Brown is 16th. So they're not making quite the pace that we hope for them. There's the 13 of Hakim Danish, and he is now up into 3rd. He's got past Gonzalez. He's got Christian Daniel Jr. on their tail. And these are the guys who've got to cut back that 2-second advantage. But as you said, Matt, Pratama and Uriarte set the fastest lap of the race so far the previous time around.
You can see through here, Dinesh just not comfortable in the flowing part of the circuit. Look, Gonzalez just going neck and neck through him without there. He's just not happy through that mid-section of the circuit. But it's everywhere else. He's got a good couple of tenths in hand over the other guys. Look at him, try and outbrake them here. But the problem here is now, they're going to end up messing themselves up and let the others get away.
That's right. They're not being able to help each other. They're not being able to do just the slipstream and see where the dry patches are. And they're way out onto the green stuff. It's Christian Daniel Jr. If you're going to touch the green, you might as well do it big time.
They lost a whole second pretty well that time around, Peter. 3.7 seconds across the line of the gap, and it was that just David Gonzalez. Well, look, Hakim Dinesh, unfortunately, I'm not going to pin it on Gonzalez for overtaking. Hakim Dinesh being too slow in the midsection, unfortunately, but the rest, he's seemingly much quicker.
Now, is it really going back to what we were saying, the stop-start nature? You know, it's the first section, first corner, this corner of the stop-start, the next one up the hill stop-start, and is it the fast-flowing stuff where he's not finding the confidence?
Yeah, it could well be, Would make sense, doesn't it? It all adds up, as we see there in the fastest lap of the race so far, 156.6, so that's about nearly 3 seconds quicker than they were in the opening laps, as we now click on the lap 7 of 10, and I would say, Peter, at this stage in the game, it is now on between these two.
That's right, and who's the clever man? You know, Veda Pratama has not been, you know, scared to lead on the last laps. You know, just when you think, oh, well, perhaps you play at KG and whatever, he just will put his head down and be confident that no one's going to be able to pass him. So let's see if that's the way he plays it and whether Brian's got something up his sleeve. And there is the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr.
Yeah, there he is. Then he's made his way through both on David Gonzalez and Hakim Dinesh. We see Lennox Famara's unfortunately gone down. They are so much more confident in this section, Peter. Just look at they pulled out, you know, a couple of tenths away from Dinesh there.
It's visibly you can see it, can't you, in the background there?
And that's when you know there is a massive difference indeed. So it's on between Christian Daniel and David Gonzalez then.
And that, you know, that means when they've got away from Hakim that much, it means he's got to take a lot of chances to close that gap again over the rest of the lap. Yeah. Anyway, it's just 2 laps remaining then. It's Veda Pratama, Brian Uriarte.
And there we have it, Pratama extending the lead. He was, well, only a couple of hundreds quicker than Brian at that time around, but he takes the fastest lap of the race. A lot of chatter there for David Gonzalez, who loses a lot of ground to Christian Daniel on the braking zone in towards turn 1 there. Well, this could be a very welcome return to the podium indeed for Christian Daniel, with just 3 laps left to go. But don't count your chickens before they hatch.
No commentators curse, please, because, you know, I also said he's going to do very well. Let's just keep our fingers crossed for him. It's still Pratama and Uriarte, and there is Christian, the American, on, and inside comes Hakim Danish.
It's like a yo-yo.
He did close it, Vanny. Whatever, you know, I said he's going to take risks. He took those risks, and he's back with them.
And he had to shut off there to avoid hitting the back of Christian Daniel. He's trying to go between the middle of both of them, but he can't. He's going to have to try and outbrake them, and this is just letting the others get away. Hakim up the inside of David Gonzalez, but Christian Daniel, the American, defends his line beautifully.
And this is where it all goes wrong for Hakim, or has in previous laps. This is where he loses the ground. So
I mean, even there, look, just on the side of the tyre, in the long corner, Christian just bike lengths at a time.
And there's the leaders then. Vader Pratama on the 54, Brian Uriarte behind him. And we've just got a lap and a couple of corners to go.
Maybe I'm losing count, I'm going mad, I'm not sure, but they'll clock around to lap 9 of 10 next time around.
You're right.
And then
I'm getting too excited.
No, we've been on air for nearly an hour already, Peter. That's what it is. Just becomes garbled rubbish for both of us at this stage.
Right, so it is still however many laps it's going. It's Vader Pratama, as you say, Matt. It's 9 of 10. Still 2 laps remaining.
And although there's certainly different parts of the track where these two look more confident than one another, there is not much between them, is there?
No, and that, you know, and Hakim closed right back up again on David Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And you know, just what is it between these two?
They've even got Ramadeepa on the prowl as well in 6th position now. Singapong 7th. Morelli's made his way back up to 8th place as well, which I think is a pretty solid result potentially from him.
Mounsey and Brown are at least in the points.
Ramersdorfer 11th, Plonk up to 9th as well, Car pushing 10th. So fair play to all those riders there. So that is probably the biggest gap we've seen so far between Vader Pratama and Brian Uriarte. I hope that's not Brian conceding.
No, no way. He can't afford to concede. You know, he's only got 11 points over Vader in this championship chase, and he cannot just accept a 2nd place. It'll be fascinating to see what the lap time is here, because, you know, Vader, I think, you know, he's moved around, bike was moving around a lot. I think he's put the hammer down here.
Yeah, looks like it. What was the gap? I mean, it was 0.4 of a second at the second intermediate, Peter. I mean, that's 0.3 in just 1 sector, goodness me. But Brian's clawed him back in. He's faster in the flowing section than Vader then, so that's where he's making up the time.
And no, it is a lap and a couple of corners.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, and he's right on his, see, you're right there, Matt. He's right on his tail, isn't he? You go down the hill, and of course, this is, you know, where he's got to think what he's going to do perhaps on the last lap. So often here at the Red Bull Ring, it comes down to this final corner, and you can't afford to go on the green, obviously, on the last lap, because then you lose places immediately.
Well then, 1 lap to go, and it looks like Christian Daniel's broken the toe. He's also set the fastest lap of the race so far, a couple of tenths quicker than these guys. Hakim Danish is going to have to really fight for 4th position here, and it's all on between Vader Pratama and Brian Uriarte, 2 of our main title contenders. It's all on, Peter.
Yeah, surely Brian just can't afford to wait to the last corner unless he's got some iron, you know, super plan there for the last. I think he's looking for a passing manoeuvre on Vader Pratama before that, but just where he'll do it. If he gets a really good drive out of here up over the hill, he could do it downhill into the next right-hander.
Oh, someone's gone down in the back. Oh, I hope it's not Christian Daniel. He's through, but it's Danish. It's Danish. It's Danish. I can't believe it.
And there
He's
goes
tumbling down. This could be it for the championship.
Look at that. And Vader's gone wide.
Goodness me! It's all happening, Peter.
Yeah, Vader went wide
Danish
there.
is back up. He's back up and running. He's still in 7th. Come Come on, Hakim!
But he needs the points, and it's still Vader Patami, who ran super wide. He almost lost it completely to Brian Uriarte there. Certainly gave Brian the super good opportunity here. There's just the left-hander there, then the double rights to complete the lap. And Brian is right on Vader's tail.
You can't believe it. It could be 2 points the difference at the end of this race. It's the last overtaken opportunities coming. It's Patami versus Uriarte. Here we go.
And Brian goes inside, but he's very clever because he doesn't give the opportunity to Vader to cut back underneath him. That was superbly done from Brian. If he wins it, he's did it there. And out on the green, I think it's
so close.
I think Vader went on the green stuff there, or was very close to do it. Vader Patama, I wonder, superb stuff. I wonder whether Vader actually touched the green side by side across the line. And here's the Christian, Daniel and Ramadipa.
Yeah, well, Daniel takes third position, Ramadipa fourth. But how about that? That was Danish taking eighth at the line. There we go.
But what happened to Gonzalez on the last lap?
Fifth place, yeah, got done by Ramadipa.
Yeah, I mean Ramadipa's last lap must be something to look up. But 1:57. Yeah, Gonzalez 1:58.5. Yeah, he was over a second quicker than Gonzalez on the last lap. But that Uriarte's pass there was a masterstroke because he went inside him, and then he just eased off and didn't give Vader the chance to cut back underneath him on the exit, and that was where the race was run, on the penultimate corner.
Oh, superb, really clever from Brian, and a superb knack to celebrate there in the wet up towards turn 3. Absolutely brilliant stuff that was, and it's all there to wave the checker flag. Actually, the stars of the world are joining us as well. Demi Bagby is waving the checker flag,
and that's Hakim getting back on the motorcycle there. And I'm so glad that he did get back on the motorcycle.
Yeah, me too. I mean, hey, that's determination. But Hakim, you can't do that, lad.
No, and I think, as you said, Demi Bagby waved the flag. I think it was her who did the backflip on the start line.
Oh, yeah?
She's one of the social media type characters who does that sort of thing, apparently. Yeah. Anyway, aside, my goodness, what a race!
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
What a race!
Yeah, that was. Do you know what? Sensible racing from pretty much everybody. No ludicrous moves. No pile-ups into turn 1 in the wet. Somebody just being a numpty. And look at this.
And Brian just goes up the inside. And you watch, he gets in front of him. Now, if he runs wide, Vader could cut back underneath him, but he just didn't allow him to do that. And I think Vader's off on the green stuff there. So we're
absolutely on the limit.
So let's see, if he loses a place. Or whether that finishing order is going to be confirmed. Wow, super. Brilliant.
Well done, Brian. I mean, that's how you really take command, because with that win, Peter, he is now leader of the championship standings with 166 points, 4 points ahead of Hakim Danish. He's 16 points ahead of Pratama. That could have been the difference between winning Rookies Cup and coming second place.
Yeah, that's right. There's 3 races remaining. And I'm glad it rained. Brutal as it is on the poor chaps who had trouble. But we just need that stuff that throws things at these lads. They learn absolutely superbly. They're just fantastic.
And it being all about learning and getting ready, preparation for the World Championship as well. There's 22 races in MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3.
Yeah.
You never know what conditions you're going to meet. This is part of the game. And it's great to see the strongest riders in the dry, also the strongest riders in the wet as well.
And it was, the chance for Christian Daniel Jr. to put his season back on track. Absolutely superb there.
Yeah, really happy for him.
The podium. Ramadipa, Gonzalez, Singapong, Morelli, 7th. He had to work hard to come back from the long lap, and Hakim Danish. I'm so glad Hakim got some points. He did not deserve to have a 0 there, and he holds on to a close second place in the championship. Very much all to play for, and another great result from Vader Patama. Phew.
It really is crunch time in Rookies Cup now, isn't it? With 75 points left up for grabs, 16 points separating the top 3 riders. Oh, I can't wait for that. There is Christian Daniel. We didn't see him much as he crossed the line, but what a race that was from him. Way to control yourself, you know, and pull away at some really fierce competition. He's good in the dry and great in the wet as well. Christian Daniel, well and truly back again.
Superb, you know, and that's jumped him up from 14th in the championship to 9th, you know, and he's now ahead of Zen Mitani. Of course, poor old Zen did not have the race he wanted. You know, 2 falls, made good use of the Alpine Stars Tech Air equipment, which blew up twice for him, and very much saved in the second time.
Yeah, big time. Absolutely cracking stuff. Well, I can't wait to hear from them. We'll be hearing from them very, very shortly. And Dominica, and you can, of course, see behind the scenes of all the Rookies Cup for the 2023 season and just find out what really goes on at Rookies at this level, watching Born Racers on the Red Bull Motorsports YouTube channel. Scan the QR code that you just saw on your screen.
That's right. Take a snap. You'll see it more over the weekend, and take a snap of it on your phone or whatever, and then you can use that later to find it on the YouTube channel.
Christian Daniel, though, 3rd position today in the wet weather, but did look as though he could also do it in the dry, but I guess we'll have to find that out tomorrow. What does he make of that one, Dominica?
Christian, congratulations. This race was really difficult, different compared to all the others. However, tell us, how happy do you feel?
I gotta say I'm super happy. I mean, I've got P3 before, so I like having the similar feeling. But no, I think it was a super fun race. Like I told you earlier, it was gonna be a bit of surfing. I made sure I stayed on the bike. You know, that would have been a shame if I crashed. But yeah, I stayed on the bike, the important part. Yeah, I mean, when I saw the rain on the thing, I just started, like, a smile came on my face. So like, this is gonna be a fun race. So yeah, when I saw Morelli take the long lap, I was like, okay, it's a battle in between 3 of us. And I was kind of just learning from them, staying at the back. Hakim broke away from me a bit, but I caught back up and I passed them. Well, actually, no, they made a mistake, and I was like, okay, this is the world giving me, like, okay, this is your shot, like, don't mess it up, you know? So I just started putting a rhythm in. I saw Veta and Brian in the front, so I was like, why don't I not focus on them and focus on the people in front? So I pushed my hardest to try and catch them. Didn't in the end, but I had a super consistent race, so I'm happy about that.
And how do you feel for the rest of the season?
I'm just gonna enjoy it, to be honest. Like, I've enjoyed a lot this race in Austria. My best friends over here, Cormac, and also I got my little brother over here as well, so it's super special. I gotta dedicate this to my mom and my little brother for sure, and also my dad. All my family puts in a lot of work, and my grandparents. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all my sponsors, to my family, for getting me on the podium again for a 2nd time this season. Super happy about it, and yeah, let's keep the roll going for tomorrow.
Fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it could be the boost he needs to really put it together. Look at that was a fantastic battle, wasn't it, for the last podium place? And that was, you know, there's Hakim getting it sideways, ran wide, and up the underneath both of them. Brilliant. Comes Christian Daniel.
Makes old Hakim check up as well, and quality. Ramadeepa and Christian Daniel both really chuff for each other. Really nice camaraderie in the Rookies Cup 10. Good vibe this year. Really, really nice. But 2nd place was Veda Pratama. What does he make of it, Dommy?
Veda, huge congratulations. You were performing so well in this difficult race in the rain. But what happened in the last lap?
Yeah, in this condition, in the race, I just try to keep focus all the race, during the race, and yeah, I just keep in my pace, and in last lap, I tried to little bit late braking, but it was already on the limit, but Brian have better line, more inside, and yeah, but the important things is I get the point and I can finish and get the point, and it's really, really good for the championship.
Fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Veda Pratama. I mean, so what? That's however many podiums. 5 podiums in the last 4 podiums in the last 5 races. He's actually not finished lower than 4th whenever he's finished a race. But what about Brian Uriarte then? Our winner today, Dominica, how's he feeling?
Esteban, congratulations. This win was really well deserved. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, I think I've done a nice race. I was following Beda. He was very fast, but I didn't want to be the fastest in the beginning because the race ends at the end. So just to be clever, to think about the end, and yeah, I saw that I was doing some points better than him, and I just took I took the chance. So yeah, I feel sorry for him, but I'm super happy about the victory. And Matt and Peter, I hope you shout a lot. So I want to see later that you shouted, eh? So thank you to everyone.
They were definitely shouting, so you'll enjoy the race. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we probably made him happy, didn't we? Enough shouting there.
Yeah, he loves it. I mean, I love the knack at the end, so you know.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the overtaking him. That was perfect. I mean, take nothing away from Vader, but that was just perfection there to take the win. And of course, as I said before, he now moves up to 8 all-time rookies win in his 2 years, and that puts him tied with Jorge Martin for 6th place in the Rookies Cup all winner. Not a bad person to be tied.
Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, that's right. Whatever
Not
happened to
that
Jorge
name in
Martin.
yonks.
Yeah. Who? That's right. That's right.
That